Jace, and I am 9 years old. Today, our inspirational speaker is Staff Minister and Director of Youth and Family Village, Reverend Sonia Russell, featuring youth and family alumni. Sarai Mitchell and Isaiah Robertson. Our musical inspiration is also an alumni, August Stevens. Let me tell you about August. August Lee Stevens is an emerging Bay Area-based musician and singer-songwriter with an atmospheric range of indie, soul, and folk. Her dynamic sound merges the lyrical rawness and simplicity of folk songs with the melodies and vocals of neo-soul. A lover of storytelling, she uses music to paint a landscape in which she embodies authentic expression. Her music showcases the strength that comes from vulnerability, and through the process of writing, hopes to gain a deeper understanding of herself with each written lyric. And she is an alumni of Heart and Soul's Youth and Family Village, and we are looking forward to having her with us today.
Hello, Heart and Soul. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person. I hope to be there in person soon, but I have a few selections today. The first one is titled Better Places, and it's an original. If this is it, then tell me. All that I miss was out the back door. A moment to cry for what we believed in, 'cause if we're moving on, there's no way we can take much more. And we tried another way to find it, only breaking down what was left with our open hands and empty pockets, searching for what we know is there. If all that you said is over, reach for my hand and we can stay a while. We'll save your soul for later, 'cause if we're moving on, can't be weighed down anymore. And we tried another way to find it, only places. And if I tried again, would it be any different than aimlessly reaching to fall? There's no promises to explain all the reasons. We've got only one way to go, and we tried another way to find it, only breaking down what was left with our open hands and empty pockets, searching for what we know there is. Better places, better places, better places. Reach for those better places, better places, better places. Oh,
Good morning, Heart and Soul. I'm Reverend Sonia Russell. My pronouns are she and they, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to our Youth Fest Sunday today. It feels really exciting and just tremendous to be embarking on a journey of making sure that we are cultivating a new space for our young people. And I feel honored to be here. I want to make sure that I start by giving thanks. I'm Director of Youth and Family here at Heart and Soul Center of Light, and it feels like a privilege to be able to care for and support and make space for the babies. I know they don't love being called the babies, but I'm going to continue to call them the babies because that's how I hold them in my heart, right? I want to make sure to let you know that I am very grateful for something's buzzing. Should I be doing something different, Danielle? Let me know. Here we go. Thank you, Revelo. Thank you. I want to start by saying I'm really grateful to Reverend Doctor for trusting me with her pulpit. This is a sacred space, and I don't take that honor lightly. And so I'm grateful to have the opportunity. I also want to make sure that I give some thanks to the Youth and Family Village leadership, because I am definitely not doing this by myself. So Dr. Jordana Campbell, Dr. Misha Mosley, and Brenda Chenault, practitioner emerita. I am so grateful for their guidance, for their support. These folks are educators, they're activists, they deep care for our kids. And so it feels like a pleasure to be working with them and to be learning from them, because I am absolutely learning a lot in being in space with them. And so I'm grateful for that. And I also want to make sure that I give a little shout out to the folks who have stepped up to say that they're going to serve on Sundays in our Youth and Family Village program, including Gabriella, Danielle, Costa, Lauren, David, and our alumni, Shirai and Nalaja. And so we're really excited for that. And really grateful, because I know working with kids is not everybody's calling, right? Like, we all seem to get to a certain age and forget we were ever kids, but working with them takes a deep amount of patience and a deep amount of love and intention. And so we're really grateful for those folks who have said yes. And so we are actually going to hear from. We heard from the kids, which really just feels special and dear to have them up and speaking our affirmations with us together. And we are going to hear from Shirai and Nalaja as alumni of our Youth and Family Village program. Shirai was actually a part of our very first, like back when we were founded in 2009, one of our first littles. So we're really grateful. And Nalaja was a part of kicking off the teen program at Heart and Soul. And so we're just, they are precious, precious alumni for us, and we're grateful for that. Yes. So I do want to start, though, before they come up, but the little tag back, kind of Sankofa style, you know how we do around here. We like to make sure that we're tagging back to where we've been and touching in on what's important for us. And so we're really talking about remembering kind of what youth and family is and why it's important to us, cultivating it now because it's a new thing. Post-COVID is a whole new life, right? And then imagining youth and family village in the future, like what's on our hearts for the kids to receive in terms of support. And I'm excited about that. So when you came in, you were given, and if you were not given, someone will support you. We were given a heart. And these hearts are about imagining the possibilities for the future of our kids, right? So let's stop, and we're going to take just a breath together. So if you have a moment, just get comfortable for just a second. And then we're going to invite us into a deep breath. You're going to breathe in through your nose. You're going to hold it for just a few seconds. And you're just going to breathe out slowly. So let's inhale together. Inhale. So what's the prayer that we're holding in our hearts for our young people? Where do we see them? How do we see them winning? How can we envision their needs being met? How do we envision them knowing that they are loved? Knowing that they are supported? How do we show them that we care about them? That their lives matter, who they are matters, their future matters? How do we, in our own personal little space, take responsibility for our babies? And this isn't an opportunity to go out and have kids if you're not ready to have kids, or go out and find kids. I'm known for just hollering out the window, hey, baby, be careful, like I'm that lady now. But how in your heart and in your mind? Right? Because as grown-ups, we have had our fair share of doing in the world. Right? And we're not going to be here forever, right? Spoiler alert, 100% of us. 100% of people have the same kind of end point, right? So there is going to be a space, a life, a world, cities, towns, communities that are going to be their responsibility. And what are we doing to ensure that there's space, that we left the world better than we found it, that we had them in mind when we were building things and tearing things down, that we had them in mind when we were organizing, when we were praying? What do we want for our kids? How do we make sure they know that they are worthy? How do we put down as much of our own baggage as possible so that they inherit as little of it as possible? This is our opportunity to just know. And so I'm going to invite you to hold that thought, hold that care, hold that love, and then write it down. What's that prayer you have? And you don't have to write it in this second. If it comes to you, please do. But I'm going to invite you before service is over today to write down what your prayer is, not only for Heart and Soul Center of Light's Youth and Family, but for the world. Because these kids are going to go out into the world. Whether we like it or not, they're going to be out here changing things, growing things, making their own decisions long after we're dust, right? So I want you to hold that idea and then write your prayer or your vision or the way in which you'll support. And then we're going to use those hearts in our space in Youth and Family Village in the back to make sure that these babies know that there are people in the world that love them. There are people in the world that see and care and are thinking and are planning and are living their lives with them in mind. And make sure you keep it simple and dear to your heart. If it's complicated, write that too, it's okay. But I know that life is full. And this is our opportunity to simply be present to this moment and to this opportunity to love. So, this feels like an important time, right? I grew up, we moved to Oakland when I was 4. And my mom and I lived with Uncle Odell. Now, Uncle Odell was my great aunt's ex-husband, right? But they were still very close. He was very kind, very loving. He took us in when we first came to California. And he lived over in East Oakland, right off Havens Court. I have vivid memories just of that home, right? The first kind of California place that we lived. But what I really remember most is that he was everywhere, it felt like. I would be at the mall, and Uncle Odell would pop up. I'd be with my friends at the park, and Uncle Odell. Like, over here, though, I went to Claremont and Oakland Tech, and I would be with my friends. He lived in East Oakland. What he doing? So I had all sorts of, Uncle Odell is everywhere. And what I realized is that it demonstrated a time where people looked out for kids. Right? You could look up and so it made sure that I knew how to act in the streets, right? Because somebody could be watching that knew my mama and would say something to her about they saw me doing one thing or another, right? And I was not the kid to get in trouble, so that was not going to be my experience. But I knew that there was somebody, right? And I feel like the world simultaneously at the same time, we say around here, feels bigger and smaller. Right? At the time, it felt like, there are not as many people on the planet back then, or whatever the case was. There was something that had it feel like somebody would be looking out for me. If something really went down, somebody was going to pop up who knew me, right? Who would able to support me and protect me and help me find my way home. And that doesn't feel the same now. Oakland definitely doesn't feel the same. That's a whole different talk, but Oakland has a whole different vibe that's happening now. But that doesn't mean the babies need less care. In fact, it means they need more. We need to make sure there are more people looking out, right? There are more people who have eyes. There are more people who care about where they are and what they're doing, right? It's just not the same vibe now. And it's interesting. I don't have a solution for it. I know that what I can do is be about the love. I know what I can do is I can come into my spiritual community and I can say, hey, y'all, we're about to support the babies and ask y'all to join, right? That's what I know I can do. And there's something that I know you can do. Whether it's you're going to make sure to send love. You're going to see some kids walking around the streets, and instead of saying, oh, my God, where are their parents? You're going to say, oh, I see light and protection around those kids. I see love and support. I know those babies are going to make it home safely. I see the joy in them. I see the possibility in them. I see the potential in them, right? So we are thinking about what's possible for our Youth and Family Village, what's possible for children everywhere. Because now they have a very different experience of life, right? These kids grew up in a pandemic, right? My kid reminds me all the time, you don't know what it was like to go to school in a pandemic? You are right. I do not. I do not know anything about what that experience was like. but I know it was impactful. In really formative years, everything changed, right? And we all had our experience of it. It was hard. Jobs were lost, lives were lost, things changed, our ways of being together changed. And sometimes I don't think we spend enough time thinking about what it was like for those little people, right? My daughter is very extroverted. She has lots of friends. She went to her little tiny desk in her room for school, for a whole school year. And I love my daughter. We have a great relationship, and I am not the one to homeschool my child. I don't have that skill. I don't have that level of, I need for us to have some space so that when we come back together, we have all the love, right, of missing each other. That's sort of my experience of it, right? And a lot of kids. And we were blessed to have a space where she could hear, she could study, she had all the resources that she needed. But there were so many kids who didn't get that. So many kids who just spent almost a year just not going to school, not learning, or learning in a way that was distracting and unhelpful, or learning in a way that set them back, right? And so there's so many things that are different and new and changed and transformed for these little kids. And our opportunity is to figure it out for them, right? They are still little kids, and so our responsibility is to, what can we grow, what can we build, what can we cultivate that supports them, right? We had a robust youth and family. I know y'all remember what our youth and family was like, right? Like, we had the 2 programs, we had teachers and parents who were really active, and y'all make sure that y'all join us for Anniversary Sunday, November 3rd. Y'all know that's our 15th anniversary. 15, y'all. Right? And we'll be celebrating, Youth and Family Village will be celebrating the folks who were in leadership, the folks who served, the young people who were a part of it. We want to make sure we lift up how amazing that time was and acknowledge that there's no actual going back. That's not a thing that exists in real life, right? We are moving forward with new ideas, and some of those ideas and some of those activities may look familiar. They may look like something we've done before, but going back is not the thing we're doing, right? We're moving into a future that has more love in mind, more intention in mind, more connection and support, more abundance, more joy, more health and wellness, all of it. We're wanting all of that to be available and present for our littles. So, what just came to my mind was a time when they all used to come out on the stage. Do y'all remember that? They'd all come out and they'd share what they had learned, and I mean, just a pile of kids. I know that's what you're supposed to call it, but there was like there's just a gaggle of children, right? And we love that presence. And I know it was impactful for them too, right? Imagine like standing in front of people, nervous and insecure, and all you get reflected back to you is love, right? Imagine if we went out into the world. Can you imagine you going out and you have a meeting and you're nervous about it and you stand up there and they're not sitting with their arms folded or wanting you to fail. There's nothing but love being reflected back to you. Like, imagine how much more powerful, how much more grounded, how much more clear, how much more loving we could be to other people if we had that as an experience, a consistent experience in our lives. Right? And our goal is for this to be the place for that. It's for the community that we're building to be a place where these kids can see themselves as loved, can get up there and try and stumble and still be loved, right? Can get up there and be cheered, right? How many people in the world have never gotten a standing ovation? Y'all know what that feels like? Just somebody to clap for you. Right? Imagine that joy and that connection that comes into your heart when that happens. That's what we want to create. And we may not have had it for ourselves, right? We may not have had that kind of childhood. Our childhood may have been rough. We may know kids that are too much to manage. All of those things are real and present. And what also exists is our opportunity to do better, to be better, to expect better, to love better, right? So, we're reigniting our Youth and Family Village program, and I want to tell y'all a little bit about what we have going on, and all the ways that you all can join us to bring your hearts, to bring your love, to bring your deep intention, and create what I know is that y'all can have a sphere of influence, right? There are people that you know, there are communities that you're a part of that you can share about what we're doing here, right? That you can do it from a place of love, knowing that this is an organization, this is a community that has an intention to grow, right? And so we have 3 programs now. Our Littles, which is for the 4 to 9-year-olds. We have a new program this year called the Tweens, which is that age from 10 to 13, right? That very formative, very interesting, very walking the line of being annoyed and annoying at the same time, right? That tween vibe. And then we're going back, we are welcoming back the Pulse for ages 14 to 18. And we have some beautiful themes that we're exploring, right? For September, it was kindness and stewardship. October, we're doing wellness. In November, we're focused on abundance. And then in December, we're doing love. And so if you have some kids in your life, this coming up in October, like I said, the theme is wellness. We'll have kids available. We'll have adults available to reach out and be present and loving in the space for your young people. And we are excited about the list of programs we have coming up. So we had this as our sort of kickoff. We are also going to have our Kwanzaa service. And so as always, we will have Kwanzaa on the December 29th, I believe the date is. We will have a winter book club. We did our first ever summer book club, y'all, where the kids all read a book together, and then we did a Zoom gathering together. And this year we'll do a winter book club. The kids are picking the book this year because it matters, right, that they're engaged and supported and want to be a part of it. We are going to, Dr. Misha Mosley, if y'all don't know, is also a comedian. And she is funny. And she actually will also be a part of our anniversary celebration. Make sure, again, y'all are going to be a part of all the things anniversary. But she is going to teach a comedy class, right? And then have the kids do a little comedy showcase, right? And so we're super excited about that. We're going to do some movie meetups, which is what we did before. We did an Inside Out 2 movie meetup. We're going to do that. We're going to offer some family game nights, right? You're just hanging out on a Friday night, could be doing something that didn't have kids, tearing up your house. Come and hang out with us and play games and just be in community together, because it feels like a great opportunity to just get to know each other, right? To be in the joy of being in community together again. And we invite everybody to come. Whether you got kids or not, you just want to come, play some Uno, and with us, let's do it, right? Eat some popcorn, yes, all the things. And then one of the things I want to share that feels exciting is, as part of our being a world-class teaching and empowerment ministry, it's important to us, we feel like, to reach out into the community. And so in addition to the space that we're building here, we've also decided we will reach out to support Sankofa United Elementary. That is a school that is just around the corner. It was formerly called Washington Elementary, and here we have a little fun fact that both myself and Sheila Smith were students back when it was called Washington Elementary. And yes, and it's a small school. It's got about 200 kids. A huge population of them have special needs, and a considerable population of them live below the poverty line. What I found out recently that feels like even the more heartbreaking part is that a considerable number of them are reading multiple grades below reading level, right? Like, could any of y'all imagine a world where you can't read? And imagine the opportunity, the possibility that ceases when you can't read? And so the work our intention is to do with St. Kofi United is to support them in ending literacy injustice. That is going to be our work. And so you're going to find out more ways. We're going to be partnering with Imagining Justice. You're going to find out more ways that you can come and serve, because what these kids need is a consistent presence to help with reading. Part of the reason we're doing games, to help with games. There's just something, this is something we can do. 200 kids, we can do that, y'all. We can have a deep and meaningful impact in these folks' lives. Right? We can do that. So more, stay tuned. There will be lots more coming with that. Yes. And so, as I said before, we're reimagining. We're reimagining what's possible. And we're reimagining being committed to creating a world that works for all. Like all. No exceptions, right? So I am going to invite Nalaja, one of our alumni, to come and talk to you about her experience with Youth and Family Village, what she's up to now, and where she's headed in the future, because that feels like y'all being able to see who these folks are and what they're doing in the world feels beautiful and impactful. And thank you, Nalaja, for being here.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Hi. So, yes, like Reverend Sonia said, my name is Nalaja Robertson Thompson. I asked my mom literally just a while ago, because I forgot, when we started coming here. She said like 10 or 11 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I was looking back, and Reverend Sonia is right. I want to say I was like 14 when I started at the Pulse, and Miss Deb and Gabriella were the teachers. Yeah, and I'm 23 now, so times have gone by. And when I was extended this opportunity, I was hesitant at first because I haven't really been back in a while, and I didn't want to mess anything up. But then I was like, this is my community. Let me just share my little 1-2 experience. So I'm glad to be back today. And yeah, so at the Pulse, I always felt very welcomed, very at peace. All the love was in the room, always. Never felt out of touch. We were able to talk about really any and everything. And we always enjoyed our time, you know. There was food, you know what I'm saying? There was other great youth, so we always got to have a good time. We had meetings outside of Sundays, like where we met with the police. That was years ago. And we had our Salbona, Salbona way, you know? So there's many experiences here at Heart and Soul and at the Pulse when I was young, and I'm just so glad that everything's coming back. I'm really excited for that to start again. But I actually work with youth now. I've been working with youth for the past 4 years. I was doing church here, and then I went to college and started working with youth when I was like 20. And yeah, haven't stopped since. It's a journey. It is a journey, but I have enjoyed it. That's why I still work with youth now. I am a program coordinator assistant for our after-school program in East Oakland now. Yeah. So I've enjoyed it, like I said, and Rev Sonia was not lying. A lot of these kids are going through it, in school and in life, and a lot of them are behind, especially in literacy. So when I heard that you guys were doing that at that elementary school around the corner, it made my heart glow. You know what I'm saying? Because these children, they need to know how to read. That's what they need. Math is important, don't get me wrong. But I always tell my kids, they'll be like, oh, we're reading again? Yes, we're reading again. Y'all are gonna need to know this all your life. Words and literacy. So I really love that you guys are doing all of that. And like I said, I'm just glad that I was called to be a part of this. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm supposed to monitor the screen. I could go?
Here we go. I am a special boy and girl, a great big part of this whole world. To see me is not to know me. To greet me is not to meet me. You must look into my eyes, then you'll come to realize that I am me. That I am me. Let's repeat that again. I am a special boy and girl, a great big part of this whole world. To see me is not to know me. To greet me is not to meet me. You must look into my eyes, then you'll come to realize that I am me. That I am me. Look deep inside. Look deep inside. Eyes on the prize. All to the light. All is inside. Wonderful truth. Pride in our youth. Stories be told. Life is the road we're in. And what else? We see our flame in me. I'm a special, I am a special boy and girl, a great big part of this whole world. To see me is not to know me. To greet me is not to meet me. You must look into my eyes, then you'll come to realize that I am me. That I am me. That I am me. That I am me. That I am me.
All right, good morning, heart and soul. I am Sarai Mitchell. Like Reverend Sonia said, I've been attending Youth and Family since it started, really. Man, that old building, little greenish blue building, the African Children Advanced Learning Center. Okay, so some of y'all remember that, okay. I do not remember how old I was when I started, but I do remember the love, the community, and the happiness I felt when I was there. Even when I wasn't the most willing to go to church in the morning, when I got there, I felt the love from my peers, the leadership, the community, and I'm very thankful for that. One of my experiences that I look back fondly when I went there was the men in the church had came together and bought me a little robot toy. And as simple as that might sound, that really stuck with me. And just that sense of community, that the older generation were looking out for me and they saw me. And that was really impactful for me. Moving to the previous building over there on 41st Street, I wasn't able to go to church as much because it conflicted with me playing soccer. But every time I was here, once again, I felt the love, I felt the community. I got to say hi, see people I haven't seen in a while. Youth and family, I enjoyed that a lot. Like Reverend Sonia had said, I really liked going up on stage and telling the congregation what we had learned and getting to hear the, oh, your voice is so deep now, and oh, you're so tall. That, I definitely love that. But just that community and love, really impactful. Right now, present, I am working at Chabot College in the Black Cultural Resource Center. Another great community. I'm also a part of a program up there called Striving Black Brothers. And basically a community of young black men striving to do better and do something with our future, full of love, realness, discipline, and that has been those communities have impacted my time at Chabot greatly and made it a lot easier up there. I know I'm going to be going to HBCU. I have not got to choose which one yet, but I'm looking at a couple. Howard is up there on my top one. That's where I'd like to be going. And going up there, I know I will find, and if I don't find, I will build a great community. With the principles that we have here at Youth and Family. And with that, I want to say thank you, Youth and Family. Thank you for the ministry, and I'd like to invite our other youth up here.
No. Yeah. Okay, that's good. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I will rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I'd laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wild, welling and swelling I bear the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Thank you.
This is River by Leon Bridges. Been traveling these wide roads for so long. My heart's been far from you. 10,000 miles gone. Ooh, I wanna come and give every part of me, but there's blood on my hands and my lips are unclean. Take me to your river. I wanna go. Go. Take me to your river. I wanna know. Dip me in your smooth waters. I'll go in. As a man of many crimes, come up for air. Watch my sins flow down the Jordan. Ooh, I wanna come and give every part of me, but there's blood on my hands and my lips are unclean. Take me to your river. I wanna go. Go, take me to your river. I wanna know. I wanna go, wanna go, wanna go. Thank you.